What is bioinformatics? What are its various branches? What is its basic approach? These are some of the frequently asked questions about bioinformatics. Answer to these and a few related discussions pave way to the basic understanding of the nature and scope of bioinformatics. Let's move into a classroom.
Let us now have an overview of the discipline of bioinformatics and then go on to have a flavor of some of the specific topics that we cover in this course. Life is perhaps one of the most curious, complex phenomena that unfolds in this universe. It is not surprising that such a complex phenomena needs to be studied from various angles. As an example, I would like you to look at this piece of paper. If I ask what it is, there is more than one answer that you can give. You could say that this is paper. You could say this is cellulose. Maybe someone would say that marks that are applied here, that is carbon. Somebody could say this is a rectangle. Someone could say this is full of information. Well, studying life is more or less like this. The complex phenomenon of life can be studied from the viewpoint of biology, from the viewpoint of chemistry, from the viewpoint of physics or mathematics. And this is why we see a large number of disciplines like biochemistry, biophysics, biomathematics, biostatistics and so on. So when life is studied from the viewpoint of information and applying information technology, then we call it bioinformatics. It may perhaps be pertinent to add that mostly bioinformatics is concerned about studying life at the level of molecules inside the cells. This is so because studying various levels of life, from that of atoms to that of the biosphere, might require very different kinds of application of computers and information technology, and a specific challenge comes at the level of analyzing molecules inside the cell. I would say that at center stage of the application of computers to biology are the three molecules: the DNA, the RNA and amino acid sequences, which are called proteins. Today, modern biology has a way of capturing this information, data and information about these molecules and represent them in computer formats. The bioinformatician is required to analyze this data and attempt to answer queries about life that the biologist may have. So this in short is the core of bioinformatics. So do you have any questions?
Sir, what is the difference between bioinformatics and computational biology?
In fact, these two terms are used very often interchangeably. They have something in common too. But if we look closely, we could say the difference is this, that bioinformatics is application of computers and related knowledge for the analysis of life, that is to study biology, whereas computational biology looks at the techniques, algorithms and technology to do this. There is a shift in focus, whereas in bioinformatics the focus is on answering questions in biology. In computational biology the focus is on how to produce those tools to answer these questions. It is possible that there could be sufficient overlap between bioinformatics and computational biology, where some technical aspects of creating the tool as well as using the tools are handled by a single person. I could perhaps illustrate this with a simple analogy that regarding automobiles, for example cars, there are two kinds of knowledge. One is to use the car, that is for example to drive the car and reach your destination, and another is to make a car. This is designing its engine, designing its body. So both are related to the car, but both look at two different aspects. The driver need not know to design an engine, and the person who knows to design an engine need not be a great driver. So similarly, bioinformatics is more application oriented. A person who is a bioinformatician needs to know how to use the tools and interpret the results to take forward the investigations in biology. Whereas a computational biologist would need to know how to make such tools with which biologists can work.
Sir, can we have our own genome sequenced and analyzed using bioinformatics?
It is possible today that the DNA of every single individual and of every single organism in this earth can be sequenced. It is believed that in another couple of years, the cost for sequencing would come down to $1,000, which would be an affordable amount. And once the sequence is available, it has to be analyzed to make use of it. For example, to predict diseases, to predict the effect of drugs on people, and so many other things. And once the sequence is available, then the role is, even though the sequence is $1,000, the analysis is $1 million. That is where bioinformatics comes in. We will have to use a large number of software tools to analyze, understand, and also sometimes redesign life for useful purposes. So it is possible that we would soon see a future where the sequence of every single individual is made available and bioinformatics is required to analyze it.
So what is the difference between biometry and bioinformatics?
Biometry is a word that most of us are very familiar with today. Some people mix it up with bioinformatics, but mostly they don't have anything to do with each other. Biometry deals with measuring some of the features of the human being for the purpose of identifying the person, whereas bioinformatics, as we have already seen, is the application of computers to understand life at molecular level. However, it must not be forgotten that the DNA itself could become the ultimate source of biometry. Each of us can be identified uniquely by our DNA. But today, biometry operates by looking at body level information. For example, fingerprints, iris, geometry of the hand and the face. So as of now, these are two different disciplines.